Good morning, everyone. I'm from Andes and RISC-V IP company, and my topic today is about the AOSP on taped out RISC-V SoC without RVA22 and 23. I came back to finish what I started. Well, for people who doesn't know what is RVA23 or 22, that is a profile for the RISC-V. It's like, well, basically, we RISC-V folks messed up in the beginning, saying that, oh, we just need to have the privileged instruction set, and on privileged instruction set, then everything should be fine. Well, it's not. It's just like, you need a system-ready kind of thing, and specs to tell the software people how to target your thing to the standards. So they came out with this kind of thing called RVA22 and 23 that have different kinds of instruction sets. But, you know, as a RISC-V company that we already have our chips taped out that is not complying with the so-called standard, like it's coming after the manufacturer SoCs. So we need to cope with that. And I'm Ruinland, employee by this technology, as I said, and I'm currently humbly serving as a system software library working group on the RISC, which is basically like the Linaro for ARM, but RISC is the Linaro for RISC-V. And my agenda here is like this. What needs to be done to get, you know, the AOSP source code that is maintained by Google, which is targeting the existing standard down to the silicon of what we have here, like this one. And how exactly to do that? And why do we even care about this old school hardware that is long before the standard come out? And if we want to support them, who will be need to involved in the upstream, I mean, from Google? And when will Android for RISC-V ever become a thing? It's like many people talks about it, but no one shows you the hardware. Well, so what needs to be done, we can break down into several parts. The build system needs to be patched, the libc needs to be patched, and many system libraries around Bionic needs to be patched, such as lib-on-wine, and the very heart of Android, the ART, and the many ship builds you need to tweak with, and optionally, like we need to serve our customer who wants to have the NDK to build apps they are running on their smart anything, then you need to patch the NDK. So for Swan, actually the Swan has a very, very great hook that is called CPU variants. And for the old days, we have all V5, V7, and now you have ARC with different types of stuff. So you have the variant hook. So for ourselves, that we patched it to have this CPU variant with the basic CPU instruction set. But this is not enough. For functions in the Bionic, that we need to patch out the vector usage. I mean, RVA22 and RVA23 basically hints that you need to have a SIMD-like, not SIMD-like, but you know, for the vector kind of computation, but we don't have that back then. So in Bionic, very thankfully, to be honest, that Bionic 1 has a quick switch to turn off the vector support because the poor RISC-V vector emulation on the x86 is probably patched recently, but the performance is still not well. So the Bionic had this quick patch for us. And for lib-on-wine, you know, because people are expecting to handle the vector and many registers that we don't have, so we need to patch it out. And for the ART, that is a big headache that even though we taught Zoom that we don't have these kind of instructions, but R doesn't care about it. So we need to basically patch out any bit annotations, compressed, and vector crypto stuff. And that's not enough as well, because for the Arch runtime, you know, and ASM under it, they have hard-coded assemblies, and some of the instructions we don't have, but we have equivalent custom instruction in Andes, so we can replace it with the functional equivalence to them. And for another thing is that there are the code emission things that sometimes have the hard-coded one as well, that it doesn't respect the hint you give it to it that you don't have this kind of instruction. It's just hard-coded to emit RVA22 and 23 stuff. It doesn't care about the configurations. So we need to patch it out. And this is like basically the same thing, but on different files. And for the prebuilds, one of the big stuff is the neural network sample SL driver prebuild. We're not sure why this is required in the boot process, but it got our boot process to ham, so we figure out that the instruction we don't have it, and it caused the LIGO to keep crazy spinning and try to respond it and blocking the whole boot process. So we got it recompiled. And for NDK, that is just like the Swarm, we can instruct the CPU variant saying that we have an this RISC-V CPU variant that has blah, 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 blah extensions, blah, blah, blah instruction sets. And we actually filed some bug report to Google on their NDK sample, and there are plenty of the native apps are not expected to be compiled with RISC-V. And thank for Google that most of the issues are resolved right now. So to recap, why do we even care about pre-RVA22 platforms? Well, economical-wise, user demands cheap products which are already tied to AOSP system. You can see maybe you have go to the bar in Tokyo. There are many this kind of tablet that let you to order things. Or in the market, there are kiosks, or there are smart POS machines, and even in industrial side, they would tend to use ARM v5 like KitKat. KitKat is still a thing, maybe you don't know, but you go to this kind of thing, you could push about Android and it's 4.4. And they are still using this kind of hardware every day, and they are not really, they don't want to toss it into the e-waste. Or the thing is deprecated, but they want to have the replacement, and they can to Andis, and they can to SiFive or other stuff to have this kind of hardware to do their thing and get the support they need. Oh, sorry. So if we want to support this kind of thing, who will be needed? Obviously, Google have to, change their upstream to make this kind of, like I said in the art part, that many of the things doesn't respect the configuration or the hinting that you have tell it in the very high level. There are many things that is hard-coded assuming that you have this kind of instruction instead of having a on and off set or switch, stuff like that. And architecturally wise, I believe that many mainland China companies or AMDs will be very interested in maintaining this kind of layer, just like the back days you have on v5 or stuff like that. The hardware vendors are very, very willing to pay for the price for this kind of abstraction layers. And there are existing hardware that runs RISC-V Android, such as our Qilai here. And Alibaba, they have the ChuanTzu Tsai 910. And SiFive's subordinary in mainland China is called StarFi. They have this JH7100 SoC. Both three hardwares are pre-RVA22, and they are running running Android right now. And people will ask that when will Android for RISC-V ever be a thing? Well, most answer is that when the amount of chips are growing, and business-wise is that when the NDK is matured. Okay, I only have 5 minutes, so this is my last slide. The very, very important missing pieces is that the TEE, the trustee for RISC-V is not there, and this may have bad implication on financial apps because they requires a secured environment to execute. And custom-wise, that currently, because RISC-V is regarded as a non-stable API, so Google doesn't want to have the Google Play on it. And even for the mainland China market, they don't use Google Play. The third-party App Store for RISC-V is still absent, and we are trying to get F-Droid on it, but it's a long shot. Okay, thank you all. If you have any question. Sounds a no. Okay, let me check whether it puts up. I guess I accidentally popped my PCI graphic card during the fall, so yeah, anyways, but There on YouTube, you can see that the boot up process. So yeah, anyways, I'm sorry that never live demo, I guess. Yeah, maybe I can set it up in the back after during the lunch time or something. So no questions at all. I mean, well, thank you guys. This.
You mentioned the Android build system type issues. What about the kernel itself for these platforms?
The kernel currently okay, this is a fun question that Google once removed the GKI, the Google kernel image, the general kernel image for that, but we're basically using the GKI and turning off the extension we don't have, and that's all. We use the GKI, the latest GKI. And actually, I believe that after the removal, there's a new branch called GKI-RISC-V something like that, and we're still rolling with that branch. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.